I was gonna make a video on Helm CN, like the differences between Global and CN, but Shift Up just dropped K and her kit way earlier than usual, which honestly makes me happy. I would love if we get kits earlier every single time and not, like 12 hours before the maintenance starts. That said, the kit is looking really good. It'll look for raiders at least, right? For raids specifically. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with her kit, if it's worth pulling or not, and my first impressions or the pre-analysis, whatever you want to call this type of videos. As usual, before we start, hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Leave a like, subscribe, help me grow the channel. Thank you to all my patrons for making this content possible. And let's check her assets first, okay? Because her assets are pretty decent, I will say, okay? She does look really good, okay, even in combat. Nice jiggle, you can see a good leg right there. Only one, but it is what it is. But her burst, I'm not a fan. I don't think it's bad. It reminds me of Moran's burst. I think it's like a nice burst. This is what you will be getting on your lobby as the MLE background. But as of right now, considering a Stellar Blade is next, really hard justifying getting an MLP character, right? To me, I'm gonna be pulling the resources I have, 20 tickets, 11k gems. If we get her, perfect, fantastic. If not, she goes to the wishlist. I am not using my tickets just before Stellar Blade. I will be breaking my account. And most of you should not do it either, because Stellar Blade, again, if you have to pick between a non-limited character at the 4% normal character, right? Or the collaboration, which we don't know what's gonna be happening with us, I will say, of course, wait for Stellar Blade. That said, let's talk a little bit about the kid and what's going on with her. She has a couple of things that are pretty nice, I will say. So first of all, she's an SMG attacker B3 electric. Yes, I know, yet another electric. What a surprise, right? So what's going on with her? She's dual SMG, by the way, which is important, an important detail for how fast she shoots. You'll see why in a second. 120 max ammo and a 4.55% of attack as damage. For an SMG, right, for some reference on Quincy, a nice water DPS, she has a 5.06 120 magazine. So she is lower, but her advantage is that she can get almost perma crit basically, just with her skill 1. It's not permanent, but it's pretty fast to gain back the stacks. So let's talk about the skills. Skill 1, 2 is passive, and then it's a 40-second B3. Now, important to understand the skills. Her burst transforms her weapon, just like a Snow White, into a shotgun. First time we go from an SMG to a shotgun, an interesting one, but that's so you can understand skill 1. So let's go skill by skill. This is skill 1, you guys should be able to see this nicely, I hope. I hope this is big enough. So, skill 1 activates when fighting the last bullet affecting herself. Tilted scale, critical rate increased by 0.75 continuously, stacking up to 100 times, aka 75% if you can get this up, right? And then you are not getting only one stack, you are getting 30 basically every time you fire the last bullet, which is pretty good. This paired with something like the mates, for example, right now both mates, means you can get almost 100%. If you get, like, let's say a K with 2 lines on her all gear of hit rate, and then you get mostly critical damage on her lines as well, she could be dealing really good damage just based on crit. And we finally entering the crit meta phase of NIKKE after 2.5 years of it being kinda useless, right? Less priority than attack, of course, and elemental. We'll see. And then, of course, activates when pellets land critical hits 4 times, aka 4 pellets crit. You will be dealing 23% of final attack as additional damage. Now, I do not know if you will be able to take advantage of buffs from Tove and Leona for the extra pellets and everything else. We'll see, because this could benefit her a lot as well. Like, for example, the 17 crit rate plus the number of pellets, that will be huge for K as well, depending on what team you are running. Because you could be doing something like Dorothy for the CDR, Leona, and then K, and then a couple more characters in there, like Summer Anis even, if you want, right? So there is a couple of really cool things you could be doing, and you'll see why Doro and Summer Anis on a second. And then when the fell burst ends, she removes Tilted Scale. She loses the crit rate, and she will take 3 seconds to gain it back, because dual SMGs shoot twice as fast, so instead of being 20 bullets per second, it's 40 bullets per second, aka she will take 3 seconds to gain the first 30 stacks of this crit rate again. Now her skill 2, every time you gain a tilted scale, affecting all allies, fulfillment of righteousness, reduces max ammo capacity but increases attack damage. The max ammo is reduced by 51% for 10 seconds, and the attack damage is increased by 10%. This is pretty good, but as you can see, cannot be stacked with similar effects, so you cannot be abusing like a K with a normal privacy, right? You cannot be doing those things because Shift Up doesn't want us to be abusing, I would assume, instant CDR or having like a constant Summer Annie's shooting all the time, right? So you cannot be running both privacy and K, but doesn't really matter because you can still run her with something like Dorothy. So Dorothy is an AR, 60 bullets. She shoots 12 per second, meaning you should be able to gain this buff before she has finished her first magazine. So before her first magazine is even out, she will already be proccing her CDR. I know my Doro is invested. You should not go this far, okay, 10, but I my Doro sim, she looks fantastic, so what can I say? So you can still use them together. It's a matter of how fast we are gonna be bursting and recovering this first tilted scale, so Doro can proc the CDR faster. We'll see, because the rotations, since she is removing the tilted scales after the fall burst ends, this will affect a lot if we can actually run her with Doro or not. Same for Sameranis. Sameranis could benefit a lot in this team depending on what we're doing, and since we are running right now Cinderella with Maiden for the most part, this could be freeing up our beautiful girl for a new team with Gabe. And since both of them are going to be shotguns while bursting, you can still be running Leona, but you could not be running Toph because she increases max ammo. So it's like a lot of different team compositions. We need to be testing a shotgun team without Toph, then you can be running also something with Dorothy in there instead. We'll see what's going on. Going back to skill 2, however, when Fell Burst ends, she will be removing the fulfillment of righteousness and also the tilted scales. So every time the Fell Burst ends, basically she loses all of her buffs and you need to gain them back. And then lastly, her burst will be changing her weapon to a shotgun, dealing 92.5% of the final attack, having 10 pellets, 90% attack speed, and this is for 10 seconds. She will also be buffing herself 63% attack and 21% attack damage. Honestly, her kit looks nice for raids, just for raids, because outside of that, it's really hard justifying investing in Electro right now. Electro, as of right now, has probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest element or the roster, right? You have your Cinderella, your Ain, Sameranis, Winter Ludmilla, your OG Scarlet if you want, Isabel now with Arcana. A lot of buffers that are really good with your Mari, with your Naga, with your Rogue, etc. Like, there is so many good characters on Electro, right? And we keep getting more and more. So it's really hard justifying pulling for one copy right now. And I will say, don't even bother pulling unless we test and she somehow is fucking crazy in damage. That's like the only reason to pull if she's broken. If she's your meta, why are you watching this video? Go pull. Don't even watch the video. For people who are more interested on, how worth it is, I will say just wait for Stellar Blade, because most likely K is gonna be a good unit for raids. I am happy. I have zero complaints with getting actually good units that can get usage rather than getting plays and base. So all in all, a character kit that is looking pretty good, but by the timing, right, is not the best one considering we're getting Eve, Raven, and Tachi. I'm assuming it's gonna be 3 banners. I don't know. Guys, if it's only 2 banners for a Stellar Blade, fuck Tachi. I want Raven. I'm just saying, I am a Raven simp. Let me know if you prefer Raven or Tachi as the second SSR banner if we're only getting 2. That's gonna be it for this video though. A short one going over K's kit and what's going on with her and my first impressions on it. We're gonna be live later, as usual, links in the description. Feel free to drop by. Good luck with your pool, the rates. I'll see you in the next one.